Hey everyone, actually in the shop here today, and just going through, and I have this old Craftsman tool set here. It's, I don't even know, 150 some piece set, plastic case. They sold a lot of these in a lot of different formats, and while I do have a full set of tools in my toolbox that I keep here in my shop, I bought this one specifically so that I could take it if I needed to go down to my barn and work on a tractor, if I was out at a junkyard pulling apart, out working on somebody's car, helping them, had to go down to somebody else's house and wanted to make sure I had tools with me. I wanted to be able to grab this and just go. It was great. All the tools were in here. I could do a quick visual inspection, especially like at the junkyard, to make sure you didn't miss any tools. I could do a quick visual inspection to make sure everything was here. It wasn't a bunch of stuff thrown in a bag. I really like this for a lot of different reasons. But one of the things that's happened is I've gone through and I've gone down to the barn to say work on a project, and I end up working on it over a course of a couple of days, maybe Friday all the way through to Sunday or Monday. I've left the tool set down to the barn. It gets cool at night, condensation forms. You know, of course, what's going to happen, everything's going to start rusting. Obviously, the way to avoid that is to not leave it outside in the first place and not let it get wet, or make sure you dry it off really good. I didn't do either one of those two things, so I ended up with a tool set, excuse me, that's fairly rusty. And you can see, I'll kind of come in here quick, close on this one. If you can see pretty good on this, how much rust. This is a 1/4 inch socket, and you can see, I think that says 14 millimeter. It's so rusted, it's really just hard to tell. So I read a couple things online. There's some kind of acid they said you could soak it in, but also WD-40 works well, and I happen to have a partial gallon of WD-40. So I put it in this old pretzel barrel here, and I just put all the tools in there that were rusty, filled it up, and let it sit. It's been in there for about an hour, but I don't know that you need to really leave it in there that long. And I took my Scotch-Brite pad and I started scrubbing this off and trying to clean it, and it was taking a long time just to do one socket, and I wasn't really getting that great of results. So I said, I got the socket, I got my impact here, and got a 1/4 inch bit that I can throw on real quick. I'm going to dip this back in here to get some WD-40 on it. Throw it in here. So what I started doing was I just basically taken and put it inside. So this is a 3M green 3M Scotch-Brite pad. Just put it inside and just go back and forth a few times. I'm not squeezing overly tight. You can hear if I squeeze hard, well, the battery's about dead. So, but you don't need to squeeze overly hard on there to get it. You just kind of want to have it in there and just kind of hold it down. You can do it whatever speed you want, whatever speed you feel comfortable with. Just be careful. Like with any power tool, you do have your hand very close to something spinning fast. So, but I just go forward a few times on that. This is like a bag of rags you can get at like a paint store or something. Just old like t-shirts, anything. Just in here. You want to be careful it doesn't catch and pull around and yank it out of your hand. But again, just kind of clean that off. And then, you know, I basically have a clean paper towel that I'll take and wipe most of it off. I want to leave some of the residue off. Now you can see on this one, this is the worst one that I've had. And you can see there's still some staining on here, but it's not rusted now. I think the more time you do it, the better results you're going to get coming through. These Scotch-Brite pads actually are pretty strong. I guess you could probably even use some kind of more aggressive grit on this, or even sandpaper if you're really careful, but I'm going to get a little more WD-40 in there to work it a little bit stronger. Maybe take some more of that rust off. Now I will say that's starting to get warm because of how long I've had this going at full speed. But it's getting quite warm now. I'm also squeezing fairly tight on this impact, so. Alright, now that I've gotten that, there we go. So again, this has been the worst one that I've done. You can, ooh, that's a little warm. You can see that I've already cleaned several of these in this set. They're all nice and shiny. This has been by far the worst one. And you can even see that by working it a little bit. Now you can see, whew, man, I gotta get that back on that tip. It's a little warm yet. There we go. So you can even see this now. This is that spot that was so bad before that you could hardly, like, it was still rough, and it's actually pretty smooth right now. I don't think I'm gonna worry about working it anymore. It's still pitted pretty bad, but you can see it definitely looks as a whole lot better than it did before. So the other part of this that works well, this socket you'll see has some exterior rust on it. I mean, it's a decent amount on this one, but if you look, I don't know if you can really see in there with a light or not. There's a lot of rust on the inside of this socket. So what I've been doing with that is to just kind of fold this up again, just wad it up, kind of shove it in here, and do it a little bit slower, but just get it in there and scrape most of it off. Again, you're not trying to get these things back to the perfect, like they're brand new, but I'm trying to get the rust off that's on there and keep them from rusting any more than they are right now. This Scotch-Brite pad's getting pretty bad. That's a little better. You know better than to touch it this time. Get this cleaned off, throw this on the inside. It's still pretty hot. So you can, as you can see, this is take this out. As you can see, this cleaned up pretty nice on the outside. You can see how bad it was before. And then again, the inside of that is, if you can see it comparatively, there's still a little bit in the corners, but the majority of it is really, it's considerably cleaner than it was. So both inside and outside, again, just gotta be smart, be careful when you're using any kind of tools. You wanna make sure you don't get your fingers too close, don't get anything caught in there. But it's a good way to clean the rust out. So hopefully these tips that I gave you about using again, just a green Scotch-Brite pad, 3M, you can use any brand you want to. I happen to have 3M ones. You want to have a bit, a adapter bit. This is a 1/2 inch one. Whatever corresponds to the size socket you're doing. Impact, cordless drill, corded drill, pretty much anything that'll spin around fast. Just be careful because it is moving. You won't want to get anything caught. But hopefully these tips will help you restore some of your tools. If you have some rusty sockets, you can get them back in use again. And the residue of the WD-40 on there is a really good protectant to preventing from getting rusted in the future. So hopefully this video helps you. If it is, click like down below, leave me a comment, let me know. Hope everyone has a great day. God bless.